Come on, get in step.
We've always been in step.
Yeah, but we're never together inside there.
I got to get my pencils because there's a lot of strikes today, Jack.
That's Whitey Harris getting ready to mark down the strikes on Top Star Bowling. We're at the Marlboro Lanes, and we're very happy that you're going to join us. You are, aren't you? Come on. Hi, we're at the Marlboro Lanes in the village of Marlboro, which is a suburb of the city of St. Louis, the gateway to the west, and here with Top Star Bowling, and we welcome you. It's my pleasure to work along with Whitey Harris, and at the outset to introduce our two participants on this particular edition of Top Star Bowling. Prior to that, a little bit about the show. 3 games, total pins count, $1,000 to the winner, $500 to the loser, and the winner stays for another week of competition. And in addition, $2,500 in prize money, $1,500 for the high series, and $1,000 for the high game in a 13-week period. And one of the people on the show today, the defending champion, is currently right on top. The King Louis Shirt Award, $2,500, may very well be his, along with the money he has been winning here in 2 previous weeks. I'll introduce, first of all, the challenger. You know, when you ask the question, who's the best bowler in the country, well, you never settle that discussion. But you're going to name these 2 names somewhere along in the first 5 or 6. First of all, from Cleveland, Ohio, now in Towson, Maryland, former All-Star champion, former Masters champion, a great bowling personality, Harry Smith. Harry, good to see you.
Hi, Jack. Nice to be back in St. Louis.
I didn't mention St. Louis. Spent a lot of time here. But Towson, Maryland is rather new, and that's right outside of Baltimore, right?
I'm working for Johnny Unitas up in Coat Lanes.
And you want to get along very well and want the people to drop in and see you over there, huh?
That's right.
But that's not on your mind right at the moment.
No, I got my old buddy here.
He's on your old buddy.
Yeah.
You don't bowl like he's your old buddy when the bell rings. Here's a fellow who's won the last couple of weeks. He has the high series, 692, has the high single, 268. He's from the St. Louis area, one of the great team bowlers, Ray Bluth. Ray, good to see you again.
Thank you, Jack. Glad to be back.
This your try for number 3?
Yes, it's the 3rd week for me, and what Harry meant, the old buddies, I guess over the past few years, we've bowled numerous times, and we each have to work pretty hard.
I don't recall. Last year on Top Star Bowling, how many weeks did you last, Ray?
Well, 4th week I lost.
4th week you lost. So
I think another time Harry beat me. I had about 5 weeks going, and he knocked me off the 6th one, so I got to get even.
I'm not going to get in that discussion. A handshake, gentlemen, and best wishes from this point. Won the toss, and so he selected lane 21. He selected to pick the particular lane, and so Harry Smith wants him to lead off. 3 games, total pins, $1,000. The last game he bowled last week was 268, and he gets a start. It was pretty much on the nose, on the head pin quite fully, but he carried that strike, and that's not unusual for Ray. And now you're going to see a fellow who really labors on that approach. Don't try to copy his style. You'd be throwing the ball through the wall. Harry Smith. He's a good one. And no 9-pin. A rather unusual leave, Whitey Harris. And before you retort, Whitey Harris, a member of the Brunswick Advisory Staff of Champions, is alongside. Or it is a rather unusual leave.
Yes,
Jerome?
it was, Jack, and when Harry starts to leave that foul line and moves, you can depend that he thinks he's going to carry it, and of course he was kind of startled when he saw that 9-pin.
So he's going for the spare, and he gets it. So Ray Bluth has the better start, a strike to a spare. Top Star Bowling is sanctioned by the American Bowling Congress. The lanes here at Marlboro are certified by the American Bowling Congress. Ray Bluth defeated Steve Nagy Then he knocked off Wayne Zahn. His challenger this week is Harry Smith. And he's in there. A spare and a strike. To repeat, Ray Bluth is out in front for the High Series Award with that 692. And by the way, he did that with a couple of low scores, relatively speaking, in the first two games. Came back in his final game last week with a 268. And he may well have started right where he left off. He's going for a double here. And everything goes at that 7-pin, but the 7-pin doesn't go down. You're going to see two very serious competitors here. There'll be no foolishness involved. Oftentimes we get personalities who are inclined toward a little fun, up to the point, of course, when they're releasing the ball, but none of that from these two. And there's a spare for Ray Bluth. But why do we say bowling is fun? And it is fun. And then we see people like this out here. But, of course, this is a little different category than what the ordinary bowler finds himself involved in.
That's true, Jack. These fellas are, I guess you'd class them the bread and butter guys of the bowling game, the stars, and they're out there to win money. Both of these boys have had wonderful PBA records in the amount of money won.
Ray Bluth, a strike, a spare, and a 4-pin. When they start stringing them together. And by the way, these lanes have not been conditioned just for this particular bowling series. These are the same sort of conditions that you, your friends, and your family, your partners in the league would encounter night after night and week after week. And I might say that the bowlers over the weeks here on Top Star Bowling have been paying for whatever mistakes they have made, and at the same time rewarded with good carries on their solid hits.
Jack, we constantly speak of the Brunswick A2, the pin setter. This is a good chance to really see how that ball come back, especially Harry, the way he throws it, and if he's running out to the left.
He's going to the left, and he left the 4-pin, just as Ray Bluth had done. Over the past couple of weeks, we've been talking about Ray Bluth and his ability to consistently hit the pocket. Well, whatever we have said, ditto for Mr. Smith. So Ray Bluth, strike, spare, spare. Harry Smith, spare, strike, spare. Harry has a 1-pin advantage. And 1 pin means a lot when these two tangle. They've been doing it over the years. They're both great team bowlers and individual champions at the same time. And no 10-pin. Had the 8-10 for a while. He checks his glide on the approach.
It's interesting, Jack, to watch where Harry will stand on the approach when he starts out and then starts his movement to the foul line. He goes about 16 boards to the left. This is what is called a weave. And actually, he does end up in line from where he started on the approach.
Goes up there like a knuckleball. And he gets his spare. But he ends up in the same spot and in the proper spot and squared away at the foul line, which is the big point. After all of the acrobatics, Ray Bluth, much different, of course. A direct path to the foul line. And he was tapped. Left the 10-pin. So neither is able to get back on a strike right at the moment.
This is the 10-pin, Jack, and you'll see that Ray Bluth will be on the approach to the left. He's also a spot bowler, and he'll be using the spot when he shoots for a spare.
Gets that ball out there, big lift, big follow through.
Jack, we'll be having Bill Schrock coming in next week. Bill is from out of Detroit, has some fine records up in Detroit. He's also an outstanding instructor.
Ray Bluth is in the 5th frame. He's working on a spare, and he is back on a strike. He started with a strike, 3 spares, and then his 2nd strike of the game. If Harry Smith can hit right here, he'll maintain the 1-pin advantage. I don't think this match is going to be separated by very much as we go along. He dived in there, and he got just what he aimed for, not what he wanted.
It's almost a big one, Jack. It's about the biggest split you possibly could get if you had that 7-pin in there, and I'm sure that Harry will go for the 3 pins on the right.
Harry will go for the count right here and accept the fact that he has opened in the 5th frame. Of course, things happen. So there's the first open of the game. Ray Bluth has 78 through the 4th with a strike up, and Harry Smith 84 through the 5th, where he opened. Smith has 3 spares and a strike and a split. 6th frame and a strike. Got good 6-pin action that time as he moved the 10-pin out of there.
Next time we'll try to remember, I will, Jack, to observe when Harry ends at the foul line for a second and how he hops to the right, rather than what we try to say to people that they should remain firm at the foul line. He is an exception to this rule.
Ray Bluth has that glide, and he stays, and he gets the ball out, and he strikes.
You mentioned it before, and definitely there is a contrast in their approaches, because Ray goes right in a direct line to whatever he's aiming at out there.
It helps to prove the fact that anybody can bowl. Anybody can't bowl as well as these two. But here Ray is a husky fella. 190-pounder. Harry Smith weighs 155. Right on the nose and a getaway, and Ray's happy to get that one. He was giving the champion's salute as that last pin fell, and he leaves the 6-pin. There's his spare. When Ray Bluth is up there, he has his weight planted on his right foot and the weight of the ball in the right hand. Harry Smith is more squared away. He has a more loose approach. He goes when he feels ready. And there's his double to get rid of that open. So he is struck in the 6th and 7th.
Jackie's had some very good hits on this left lane, so it's a good chance that we're going to see Harry take off on one of his runs when he's trying to get this 3rd strike.
Got a strike there in the 6th. He left a 10-pin there in the 4th. And I think from his hand signal as he came back that he feels he didn't hold on to the ball long enough, Whitey.
Yes, that's what's happened. And Jack, whenever you get this 2, 4, 5, 8, it's just a matter of not even an inch or so that the ball hadn't actually mixed the pins.
He covers them all very nicely. Whitey, I don't think most bowlers would believe it if they were able to see a slow motion film of the pin action, what actually happens back there on a strike ball.
It would surprise you, Jack, what pin takes out different pins according to their numbers. The 5-pin is a key pin that flies around there quite a bit.
Ray Bluth in the 8th frame has a spare up. Beautiful hit. Ray started with a strike in this game, and that is his 4th of the game. He has 1 double. Harry Smith has a double. Harry has the only open. They got a split in the 5th frame. Ray Bluth some 17 pins ahead with a chance to double here in the 9th and go on to a 237 game. There's a double. And that 237 doesn't seem very remote.
We'll have to remember next time, Jack, when Ray gets up there, I know we call our attention to the viewers of how he follows through, but did you see how he remains at the foul line and holds that arm as he knows that the ball's going into that pocket or somewhere around there?
Harry Smith has a spare up. He's in there. So Harry's going to attempt to stay right with him. He can go on to a 2-10 game. So if both reach their potential in this opening encounter, Ray Bluth will have a 27-pin lead.
To me, Harry seems to be taking his time a little bit more than normally, Jack. I guess it's the noise in a real good match here.
He's in a real good pocket, too. That's his second double. 2 more for 210. He knows he has to stay right with Ray.
Most of these pros, Jack, they check everything. Harry has his hand over the hand dryer there, and then I just noticed that he took the towel, wiped off the dust on the shoe.
Even if there's nothing there, he does it.
That's true. They get in the habit of doing this.
How does it look to you? 10-pin remains. 6-pin came close to getting it out of there for him, but it didn't. 199 if he takes the 10-pin. So Ray Bluth could have a 38-pin advantage. 199 for Harry Smith with 1 split. That split does make a difference. And he had a big one.
Especially in that particular part of the game, my Bluth came back with a double, Jack. Here we see some concentration, those eyes looking over that wrist. The photographer is at work.
This is the 10th frame for Ray. He has a double working, and he's going to take advantage of it. That's 3 for him. He now has 6 strikes in the game. 2 more for 237.
We keep impressing on the viewers, Jack, about these pros. They'll watch where they start from every time, and that's why you can get consistent like Ray does, starting from the same position, ending at the foul line. And that's what you get.
He lost a few pins with that one. However, he picked up that double. It will likely be 224. The Ray Bluth is finished. A good start, 224. Harry Smith, 199. And at the end of the first game of our 3-game match, Ray Bluth owns an advantage of 25 pins. Well, 25 pins is the difference as we get set to start our second game here on Top Star Bowling. The difference in strikes, 6-5 in favor of Ray Bluth, and the 1 split which was charged against Harry Smith seems to be the difference. No time for kibitzing here. We want to keep both bowlers hot, see if we come up with some fine totals here on this session of Top Star Bowling. So let's get underway with our second game. 224, Ray Bluth, 199, Harry Smith. Second game, Harry on 21. Really whipped that one out. He used a 6-pin. He's got quite a snap on the end of that delivery, Whitey.
I think, Jack, what helps to get that is Harry goes to the line pretty fast. And, of course, when you hit that foul line, that speed, and then when pulling up with the ball at the same time, well, that's what causes that snap.
I wonder if he feels the ball as well as some of the other bowlers.
Oh,
There's his spare eye. To finish, it seems to me that a lot of this is instinctive rather than scientific.
You mean with
With his approach and delivery, yeah.
Well, I imagine so. Anyone that has an unorthodox delivery, this has to be instinctive, because if you try to teach people to bowl that way, they'd never get it.
Ray almost had the 8-10. would have made the match even in a hurry, wouldn't it?
That's that difference there, Jack. 6 strikes to 5 in the first game.
Ray had a little getaway in the first game. He gets his start. Harry Smith's split was the 4, 6, 9, 10. Couldn't do anything about it. Just chalk it down and try to overcome it. So they each spare in the first frame of the second game. He didn't get away this time. He laid that ball right out there, Whitey, and that's where it ended up.
Yes, that was definitely well, for Ray, for how he has been hitting the pitch, the pocket, that's definitely a wild pitch when he hits a nose like that. In other words, there's no excuse for him to hit the pocket when it gets right down to it. I mean, hit the head pin like that.
He goes for the 6, 7, 10 and came very close. He figured he had the advantage, and I guess you stay with it. And the 2 pins didn't make that much difference. However, now Harry Smith can about even this thing up. You see that 9-pin again? Harry Smith left a 9-pin earlier in this match, and that one was looking right at us there for an instant. So he comes back, takes advantage of the open by Ray Bluth by striking. That's the first strike in the second game. Harry Smith started this game 25 pins behind.
I don't think with a margin like that of only, well, now it's reduced, Jack. This is too tough of a match to see, you can determine who is going to win.
And a tap. A good hit and a 10-pin remaining. Why is bowling so popular? Well, weather is one of the reasons. You never get rained out like you do in your golf game or snowed out at some of the other activities. It's never too warm because of the air-conditioned bowling centers you encounter. There are a lot of reasons why bowling is so popular. Weather is one. You could probably name 20 others.
Harry was grabbing the heart that time on that 10-pin pick. You take...
Ray Bluth gets back on the strike.
Jack, you commenting on the different sports where you can't... that do compare with bowling, or what had you been getting into?
Not talking about the reasons for the popularity of bowling.
Oh, yeah, definitely. If you tried to play lacrosse and ping pong, why, I mean... I don't think there's any comparison for the weather condition, I mean. Both outside and inside sports.
Family activity, young and old, men and women. The youngsters. Is this a double? Yes, it is. Ray Bluth gets the first double of this game. Ray had 6 strikes in the opener, and Harry Smith had 5.
There's no resting, Jack, when there's a match like between these two fellas. I mean, if you stop, like Ray did get that split, but bingo, he's right back in there again with doubles.
There he is. He gave it a little Mexican hat dance to help it go down. What sort of a chance is our next challenger going to stand against this winner?
Well, Bill Schrock, Jack, has been in the Detroit area where he has scored quite a bit. In fact, Bill held a high average there, bowled in leagues where he bowled a 216 average. So you never can tell about some of these fellas that are coming up.
Harry turned that one over. He had a thin hit, but when he let it go, you could see that he really put some stuff on that ball. And it really breezed through for him. So he has a double, matching that of Ray Bluth. Bluth has an open in this game. Harry Smith had the only open in the first game.
If he runs one more through, if he runs one more out, he's going to be through that gateway of the St. Louis. But he takes off.
That's 3 for Ray Bluth. So Ray Bluth has 25 through the second with a three-bagger working. Harry Smith has 60 through the third with a double up.
Not because Ray Bluth threw that ball that way, Jack, but I think whenever you see a stylist or a great athlete bowling, it seems so effortless. And now watch how this pitch will go.
Is that number 4? Yeah, he's really murdering those pins. He had 224 in the opener. Started with a spare and then a split, and now 4 in a row. Harry Smith has to answer the clarion call.
Gee, that's another one I called right, too. Did you know that?
Mm-hmm. Harry has 60 through the third with a double up. Looking for 3, has it out nicely, and look at that 6-pin stand alongside the 10 and go the wrong way as far as Harry Smith is concerned. How'd you like that for a long sentence?
One more statement like that, and you'll need an oxygen tent.
So Harry stops his string. Continue to mark, however, and he'll take advantage of the Ray Bluth Open. Over the weeks, we've had Joe Joseph here, Don Ellis, Steve Nagy, Ray Orff. A couple of the ladies, Marion Ladewig, Judy Audsley. Upcoming, Glenn Allison, Buzz Fazio. Great names on Top Star Bowling. Never reach the head pin. You can't get a strike like that. Oh, once in a while they happen, don't they?
Well, that's true, Jack.
Start coming back the other way.
You mean flying out of the pit?
Yeah. Don't you ever get strikes like that? I do all the time. Never hit the head pin. He's got that 8-pin back there, remember? And he takes it down. So Ray Bluth has 25 through the second frame with 4 working. And Harry Smith has 126 through the 6 with a spare up. It's Bluth in the 7th, looking for 5. 5 in a row for Ray Bluth. He was 25 pins up at the start of the second game as a result of his 224 opener, as opposed to the 199 posted by Harry Smith. Ray is now 31 pins ahead. Is this number 6? Yep. Ray Bluth stringing them together after that split in the second frame. Whitey, there's that mystery lady again.
Yeah, Jack. And
Have you found out who she is yet?
No, I'm not going to ask her. I mean, I know she gets really excited, too, when these bowlers throw those strikes around. You ain't
Been
gonna
here
get me
almost every week on Top Star Bowling. This young lady is here viewing and rooting. Something to root about right there. Harry Smith has had 4 strikes in this game and no opens, but he hasn't put them together like Ray Bluth has. Ray has 6 strikes in a row. Harry Smith had a double earlier. Harry Smith could go on to a 236 game. This is his 9th frame. He's in there. This is the sort of match we expected with these two. There's his second double and his 5th strike. Talking about Harry Smith. Now Ray Bluth comes up. He spared, split, 6 in a row, 265 if he goes all the way. He already has a 268 series. 268 game. He never quits. Now this game will be tacked down to a 224 opener. So Ray has a mighty good chance at 700. No matter what he does in the roll-off, into which he now enters. 10th frame, he has 7 straight strikes. His first delivery in the 10th frame. High, but he carried. And another one for him.
The action of the Brunswick Score King pin there, Jack, it's hard to identify what pin that was, but actually a pin took that 4-7 back. It just pushed him right on back. And that's that high hit. That's what'll happen on a high hit.
That's 8 in a row, and needs 2 more. For 265. There's another one. Talk about a model of consistency. I remind you that in the first frame of this game, he left the 8 pin and spared, then came up with a 6, 7, 10 and got one of the pins. And he has been striking ever since. This will be his final delivery. He's got 9 in a row. He's got 9 in a row. He's got 10 in a row. 265 for Ray Bluth. And a 489 total. And Harry Smith has to hang in there. He could go on to a 236 game. He's got a double working. He's in the 10th frame. Harry's got to throw a strike. He's a little bit high, and uh-oh, no place for that. With a double working and in the roll-off, leaves a 4-6. He was 25 pins down at the start of this game. Field goal. Nothing doing on the final delivery for Harry Smith. Ray Bluth, 224, 265, 489. Harry Smith, 199, and an even 200, 399, and a 90-pin lead for Ray Bluth at the end of 2 games. The third game will be starting in just a moment here in Top Star Bowling. Too bad Ray Bluth had that split in the last game. He could have had a pretty nice game if it hadn't been for that. Instead of that 265. We'll be watching more action in a moment. Right now I want to talk about bowling in general with a couple of members of our audience here at the Marlboro Lanes. I'd like to bring them up, Mr. and Mrs. Beard, Fern and Harvey. Both of these folks are bowlers, and Harvey, I understand that you're the president of one of the leagues here at Marlboro.
Yes, that's right. Friday night league.
Mm-hmm. Fern, how often do you bowl?
Oh, I bowl once a week.
Can you beat him?
I do at times.
Please.
Do you really?
Yes, I do.
That's the fun of it, isn't it?
Yes, that's right. I like to bowl with the men. Try
I've even
good
had
competition.
Even had my 18-year-old daughter beat me, too, so...
Do you ever bowl together as a family?
Yes, uh-huh. We bowl in the mixed couples league.
How long have you been bowling, Harvey?
Oh, off and on, 10 years.
About 10 years? You appear to be a little bit older than I. How come you took up the game so recently? Well, what were some of the things that started you in bowling, huh?
It's a nice way to get together with the family and enjoy yourself. We've nice places now. Fern's father owned an alley here in St. Louis for about 20 years, and we learned there.
So you had a natural interest.
That's
I'll tell you, one of the things that got me started was the handicap, and I knew that I'd get those pins and I wouldn't be embarrassed or wouldn't embarrass my teammates, and that means a lot.
Very true.
What do you think of the way Mr. Bluth and Mr. Smith are doing here?
Wonderful, wonderful.
I wish I could learn by watching.
Can't you?
No, I haven't learned anything yet.
I think you have to learn by doing it with regard to this sport, huh?
Yeah, that coming off that split with 10, that's great. I usually come off at 2 strikes with a split.
We'll close on that line, and thank you very much for the visit.
You.
Mr. and Mrs. Beard, our guests here at Marlboro. Now let's get set for the third game. Harry Smith and Ray Bluth on Top Star Bowling. Well, Wayne Harris, Ray Bluth leads us off here in the third game.
Yeah,
Why don't you call a couple of frames here and see if you can tack some strikes on to the end of the string of 10.
Well, I want to say something, too, Jack, as you're commenting on that guest. You both have a salt and pepper hairdo. How do you get it that way? Using salt and pepper?
Let's see if Ray can pepper 21. There he is, 11 strikes in a row.
I think you're trying to shove the blame over to me now, knowing that possibly the the broadcast for a few frames here. Why, that's all there's going to be strikes, and that's uninteresting.
Okay. We won't change it. Let's see if we get Harry Smith started here on the string. There he is. Harry has totaled .399 for his first two games with 199 and 200. He's had a split in each of the games, which has hurt him notably in the 10th frame of the second game. So he'll try to get on a double here.
In counting where Harry is standing, Jack, he's about 14 boards to the right, and when he ends at the foul line, he's additional 12 boards to the left.
There's another split for him, so he's had one in each game so far.
So in other words, he covers actually 26 boards from the time he starts his approach and ends up at the foul line.
The real Weaver up there. And a 9 count in the second frame. He seemed to be rooting for Ray Bluth as Ray got up to roll again.
You know, that's one thing about bowling, Jack. I know that these guys are at their throats fighting that, but occasionally you'll see a fella give him the old pat on the hand or something like that.
He's going for his 12th strike, and he didn't get there. Thin hit, failed to carry, 2-4-5. He had 11 in a row, 10 at the end of the second game, started with one. Now he leaves a 2-4-5. And he can spare as well as strike. What do most of the pro bowlers shoot at in practice, Whitey? Strikes or spares?
No, definitely they do shoot strikes, Jack. And I think this is a good lesson to a lot of the people that helps them in their bowling. The reason the pros they do get the strikes, but when we see them shoot, they only shoot at maybe 2 pins or 1 pin.
Because they're in the pocket. Ray right back on one.
This gets back to what we see here every once in a while on Top Star Bowling, Jack. When a bowler gets more than 3 pins up there, a cluster or something, that pro bowler's got the same trouble that an average bowler has.
Ray needs 211 in this game for a 700 series. Harry Smith coming back after an open gets another split. 4-6-10.
Harry came back mumbling, and he said, that's real tough. And I guess when you are getting these splits like this and with strikes being thrown at you, it's hard to find something to make yourself feel good.
Took the 10 pin down, leaves a 4-6, an 8 count, and 36 through the third frame for Harry. And of course, you know that most of the attention from here on will be focused on Ray Bluth. However, a lot to learn by watching Harry Smith, and I'm sure you'll see that he won't give up. There's 3 splits in a row. This time the baby split 3-10.
He'll stand to the left on the approach, Jack. Even with that weave he's got to go for the 3-10.
He's not wasting any time up there, is he? Ran by the 3 pin. So he's open 3 frames in a row.
Do you think this fellow looking over the top of the ball wants to get a strike?
So far in this game, he has strike, spare, strike, split. 4-9. I don't know if he quite deserved that leave, Whitey, but there it is.
The 4-9 hit, Jack, is comparable actually to an 8-10 because the ball is going in there, and you can carry either one. I mean, probably something Ray did with the lift of the ball as he put it out there on the lane.
This will hurt his chances for that 2-11 if he can't get it. 2 full on the 4, and he opens.
Jack, and getting back to that 4-9, you can bet that Ray will not change his angle because there's no reason to change because he hit in the pocket.
a 7-pin this time. So they each opened in the 4th frame, with Ray Bluth adding a 23-pin advantage to the 90 pins he previously enjoyed. So it looks like he's going to be a winner for the 3rd straight week. He gets the spare. Previously, he had defeated Steve Nagy, who had won for 2 weeks. Then he disposed of Wayne Zahn, and Wayne lasted only 1 week here on Top Star Bowling. Well, that Harry was up there in a hurry, wasn't he? 1, 2, 4, 7.
I think you've diagnosed it right, Jack. I can't imagine why Harry is rushing the foul line, because this wouldn't be any reason to get an angle or anything. It's strange that he would be doing this.
Gets a spare on the Brooklyn hit, applauds himself.
Harry here is feeling the distance that Ray has spread between them.
68 through the 4th with a spare up for Ray Bluth. Ray Smith 45 through the 4th with a spare up and a strike. That's his 2nd strike in this game. Harry was in the pocket, had 5 strikes in the 1st game and 5 in the 2nd. The splits hurt him, along with the high scores thrown at him by Ray Bluth. Ray is working on a spare. And he gets back on a strike. He had 6 strikes in the 1st game, 10 in the 2nd. And he has 3 now, so 19 strikes so far.
We made the quote once before, Jack, that it's possible Ray, feeling that he's bowling so well here, that Jim Moran and Bill Bogey might have a new partner if he keeps collecting these first prizes.
He could be around for a long time in Top Star Bowling. And a split, 4-7-9. He needed that double. He may be missing an opportunity here for that 700 series, Whitey. Needed 211. And a 9 count.
Thought maybe he heard you, Jack, because he had to pick that he would have enabled him to go over to 700. Then he would have had to strike it out. See, now all he can get is a 206.
So he won't reach the 700 level here. Harry Smith has a strike. He's in the 7th frame, and he strikes for a double. Had 3 straight splits in this game. He started 90 pins behind, and it was all but over, particularly when Bluth started with 3 marks, including a couple of strikes. Harry's going for 3. On the nose, leaves a 3-6. Harry Smith from Cleveland, bowled out of St. Louis for quite a while. Now he's just outside of Baltimore in Towson, Maryland. He spares. Ray Bluth previously had a 692 series. He's coming back after an open with a strike. Four strikes in this game so far, 20 in the match form.
A lot of strikes, Jack.
Mm-hmm.
And he's been around the pocket on some of those other hits that he didn't carry. Very slow movement to the foul line, Jack. Here it is.
Almost had the 7-10 for a while. He's already had 2 splits in this game. 1 in the second game. So he's not going to reach his previous high of 692. He spares in the 9th frame. 136 through the 8th with a spare up. Now Harry Smith will finish up. He's in his 9th frame working on a spare. That one was outside. Leaves a 128. In the 9th for Harry Smith, a spare.
We'll see, Jack, if the A2 pin setter does bring the ball back. And right at this time, why Harry's got his hand above the hand dryer, and there's the ball. Certainly brings it back in time, real fast time. Takes a lot of the weight out of bowling, actually.
Bowler wouldn't want to be ready any more quickly than that. Strike in the 10th frame. Needs 2 more for 180. He started with 199 and 200. And no 10 pin this time, so the best he can do is 170. Be 569. So Harry Smith finishes with 170. And now Ray Bluth has a spare in the 9th frame. He's in the 10th frame. Another strike for Ray. It's his 5th strike in this game. We go on to 186 in a 675 series.
I know you're looking over here at me, wanting me to figure out what his average is in the last few matches, but I'll have to take a little time on that, Jack.
There's another one for Ray. Boy, he looks like he owns these lanes. With 6 strikes in this game, and a total of 22 so far in the match. And another one, 7 strikes, 186, 675. Another fine series on the part of Ray Bluth, who defeats Harry Smith 675 to 569 here on Top Star Bowling. And now it's money time here on Top Star Bowling, and each week we have a young lady who is a graduate of the John Robert Powers School of Modeling and the Pat Allen Agency here in St. Louis to award the prize money. Kay Otting is our guest on the show this week. Kay?
I would like to present Mr. Harry Smith with his check for $500.
Thank you, Kay.
Is that all you have to say about it, Harry?
I don't deserve 500 the way I bowl. Ray was great, and looks like he's going to be here for a little while.
Kay?
Well, I have another check here from Mr. Bluth.
You may as well give it to him because he's going to take it if you don't.
This check, Mr. Bluth, is for $1,000.
And we'll be seeing him back here next week at Marlboro, won't we, Kay?
Yes, sir.
Nice to have had you with us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Kay Otting. Ray, next week the opponent comes from Detroit.
Bill Schrock, he'll furnish a lot of competition, I'm quite sure, and I have my work cut out for me again.
I thought you were going to get that 700, didn't you?
You know, I was trying for it, and I thought I was really going to get it this time. I thought, well, maybe I can get 720 or 730, and all of a sudden, everything went wrong.
But he got enough, didn't he, Harry?
He sure did.
You're still friends?
Always.
Harry Smith and Ray Bluth, folks. Thanks for being with us in Top Star Bowling. Ray Bluth mentioned the name of his next opponent, Bill Schrock from Detroit. We hope that you'll tune in. We'll be back here at the Marlboro Lanes just outside the city of St. Louis. And now speaking for Whitey Harris, our congratulations to Ray Bluth for his 3rd consecutive victory. We'll see you next week on Top Star Bowling. Jack Buck says thanks for your time this time. Till next time, so long. Top Star Bowling has been presented by equipment by Brunswick, the #1 name in bowling. Top Star Bowling is sanctioned by the American Bowling Congress.